Good morning, everyone, and good morning, our facilitator this morning. We are happy that you were all able to join the program. We have with us this morning Titi Ojo. Titi Ojo is an astute professional with over 22 years of experience in organizational leadership, agricultural value chain development, international trade, evidence-based policy advocacy, project management, business consulting, training and capacity building, youth empowerment and information technology. She's a certified project management professional, PMP, and a certified national business development services provider, and an accredited management consultant and trainer by the Nigerian Council for Management Development, LCMD. Titi has supported implementing agricultural value chain and rural development projects from donor organizations such as UNDP, IFDC, DFID, and USAID. She served as a national advisor on the two-scale project towards sustainable clusters in agribusiness through learning in entrepreneurship, a 5-year Dutch-funded project supporting business ideas from the private sector that addresses commercial and development objectives. This morning, she will be taking on the topic career opportunities in public speaking and communication. Please join me as we all welcome Titi Ojo with a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Okay, so let me just be sure I can share my screen very quickly. Okay, let me just do that. So good morning, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to be the one facilitating this session, where I'll be talking about career opportunities in public speaking and communications. It's going to be as brief as it could get, but I'm also hoping that we're able to follow through, especially because I'll be sharing some things with you. And I expect that maybe we'll take that away, and practice, like I always say, is what makes perfect. Thank you, Madam Moderator. And thank you, Grace and Prof, everyone here. And I'm happy to also, I see that quite a number of the American Spaces have connected. I had an opportunity to do some training for the American Spaces. Was that last year or 2 years ago? And it was one of my best sessions that year. So I'm happy to be back again. All right, so career opportunities in public speaking and communications. Our session this morning, we're going to be looking at communications. Of course, communication is both written and spoken. And I'll try as much as possible to touch on that. Public speaking, of course, is also a necessity, and I'm going to show you why it is a necessity in the 21st century. The session will also cover why you need skills development in this area. And of course, we can look at interest and skills mapping. We're just going to have a conversation around that. Also, we're going to have a conversation around technology as an enabler. And then, of course, building a career from public speaking. So that will be my session overview. And one by one, we'll take that. Well, to start with, I have a question here. And the question is around the power of vision. The power of vision. Many times when we have trainings like this, it's important to ask ourselves the question, do I see myself in this space at all, at any time in my life, or even in my career? Do I see myself in this space? Do I see myself becoming a public speaker? Maybe. Do I see myself building a career? So that's the power of vision. Where do you see yourself in the next 1 year, even in the next 6 months, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years? And that's the power of vision. Wherever you have seen yourself, you can walk towards it. It's like this man that is looking at the end of that road. And of course, he's seen himself already at the end of the road, isn't it? And he will be walking towards that destination. So your vision is like your destination. Sometimes it looks like so far away, but you can envision it. And as you continue to move towards that destination, somehow there are certain things you have to keep doing that will get you there. So these are very critical. This is a very important question I'm asking you. Where do you see yourself? And the second is, what do you want to be known for? Today, many public speakers, including myself, there was a stage I spoke to myself and I said, okay, I want to be known for this. I want to be known for this. I want to be known as someone that whenever I get on the stage, I leave my audience with something new, something informative, an unforgettable experience. And lately, I've started seeing some trends in my public speaking career, actually, that I am loving. And I mean, I am loving it, because I do quite a bit of work when it comes to panel moderation, moderating panels. So I made up my mind at some point that I want to be known for a particular industry, a particular sector. Of course, I've built my footprint in the sector for a while, and that's trade, that's agribusiness, agriculture, leadership and communication. And then at that point, I told myself that if anybody wants someone to moderate a conference, a seminar, a webinar that relates to anything like that, I should be one of the names that should come up, like, oh, let's get Titi in to help us do this, because she's someone that can moderate this kind of sessions very well and help us achieve our aim. And I've worked on that for a while, and I'm seeing it pay off. I'm seeing it pay off every day. In the last 1 week, I've had to moderate like 3 panels. And somebody made a comment one of those days that, if it's Titi that is moderating your panel, just know that that panel will be really interesting, and you're going to leave that panel really, getting so much from it. And that feedback, I didn't take it lightly at all. I didn't take it, I took it, it was special. That feedback was special to me. Because by the time I was done with that panel, so the woman walked up to me and said, I told my people in the office that I put on that panel, she's going to do it. So what do you want to be known for is very critical. And I'm sharing my own personal experience so that you also understand that most of the things I'm going to be talking to you about today are things I've practiced. I wasn't born a public speaker. I also grew my skills. I also developed my skills in public speaking. I had to get to a stage where I told myself, this is where I want to be. So that's the power of the vision. So when we talk about communication generally, of course, there's a spoken and there's a written. The spoken, that's where public speaking comes in. And we're going to be looking at careers, so let me not jump ahead of myself. And then we also have written. We have those that write blogs, they write articles, papers, and the articles to tomorrow are bestsellers everywhere we go. So those are the 2 modes of communications, and we're going to be seeing how they connect. Now, let me tell you this. This is me anyway. And I'm on a stage here addressing a Toastmasters conference where we had over 700 participants, and I was the conference chair. Now, one thing I'll tell you is public speaking. As a professional, you can run, but you can't hide. It's a matter of time. You can run, but you can't hide. If you keep saying, no, I don't want to, you keep running. If there is need for someone to address even even your colleagues in the office, you say, no, I can't do it. We want to address, well, your spaces. Let's have a small conference here, or a small seminar, and get our clients in, the people that buy from us, or our customers. And yes, please help us address them for just 30 minutes. And then, no, I can't do it. As a professional, as you grow in your field, it will get to a stage, public speaking will be something you cannot hide away from any longer. So you can run, but you can't hide. And I always say that don't now be in dire straits with public speaking. The time to start building your capacity was yesterday, in fact. But if you didn't start yesterday, the time to do it is now. You can run, but you cannot hide. Because no matter what, somebody will have to call you when they say, please, can you talk to us about this? Knowing that you have built capacity and expertise in a particular field, it gets to a stage where your voice now begins to count. Something happens suddenly, and they say, oh, well, Titi is here now. She should be able to address this situation. I remember I attended an international conference that happened in Sheraton several years ago. And the person that was meant to deliver the paper could not show up for some reason. I think maybe flight cancellation or something. The next thing was they looked up to me and said, Titi, can you handle this session? And it was a session that is not even my forte, it's finance. But yeah, they called me and said, can you help us handle this session? And the best I could do was to say, you know what, I cannot speak about finance, but I can speak about something else that will still empower this audience. And that is how that worked for me. So you can run, but you can't hide. Note that you can run, but you can't hide. So what are the benefits of public speaking? It helps you boost your confidence and overcome any fears or anxieties you may have about speaking in front of others. Number 2, it allows you to communicate your ideas and expertise effectively to others, and thereby it helps you build your credibility, inspire confidence, and establish yourself as a knowledgeable and figure in your field. So note that very well. Then, of course, public speaking helps you build your professional network and create new opportunities for career advancement. And I tell you that public speaking has led to new job opportunities for several people, partnerships, collaborations, and that has helped quite a number of people grow their career. So even in your own career, imagine if you are good with public speaking, new opportunities will come to you because you're a public speaker. And trust me when I say this, the opportunities will come to you because you're a public speaker, because you can show that you have a good grasp of the subject matter, and you're able to do justice to the events at hand. And I've seen this happen where I am done with a speech, and then somebody walks up to me and says, "Oh, can I have your card?" And it has always worked for me. It has always worked for me. So public speaking puts you out there as a confident person, because of course, when you communicate ideas and empower people, you are seen as an authority in no time. So this is very, very important. So question one, and I want this to be very interactive. If you have to unmute yourself and speak, I think that would be great. Who are your model public speakers? So some of you may want to type in, that's fine. And if you want to also speak, please feel free to speak. Who are your model public speakers? We have quite a number of them, and I want us to discuss it. What do you like about them? Why do you rate them so highly? And what do they speak about? What's the subject matter? What do they speak about? What inspires you about these people we're talking about? And how many of them have built a career from public speaking? So can we have, you might want to type it in because this is an interactive. If it's question time, I want to ensure that you're able to speak to me. So moderator, can anyone speak here, or can they type into the chat room? Let me just,
yes.
Can they chat? Okay. So
they can chat.
Okay, good.
You
so
can chat, you can raise your virtual hand.
So let's see that. Please, I want us to participate. You can raise your hand. Moderator, I might probably be the one seeing them, not me. Let me stop my own video. So that maybe.
No need to stop. I can see them. I can see anyone that raises his hand. Yeah.
Okay. So anyone that raises their hand. And if you want to chat, please, let's chat this. I only have 2 minutes for this exercise. Just 2 minutes for this exercise. Let's do this. Who are your model public speakers? Give us one person, someone that you love is a public speaker. You love this person so much. Can you put their name in the chat box? Let's do this. Put their name in the chat box. Yes, let's see that. Martin Luther King. Okay. Martin Luther King is an excellent speaker. All right. So that's beautiful. Martin Luther King. What do you like about Martin Luther King? What inspires you about this man? Okay. What do you like about the way he speaks? What is it that you love about the way he speaks? What is it that you see about this person and you rate this person really? Oh my God, somebody said Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is one of my favorite speakers. What do you love about Steve Harvey? The way he speaks. Tell me about it. What do you love about Steve Harvey? Yes. Yes. I want to hear you. Oh, Vusi. Vusi is one really good guy. Trevor. Okay. Oka window, yes. Fire on. Fire on. Let me hear you speak. Barack Obama. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, please. Let me hear you.
We are coming. Okay, Lucy. I love Lucy because he's versatile. Like, he talks about different things, not just one aspect of public speaking. He's very versatile in what he does.
He's versatile in what he does. The guy is an expert. He's a professional in so many things. And because he has a stage where he keeps talking about it, he has become an authority to us. Are you getting the point? Because he could be so good in everything he does and not be talking about it and just be doing his thing in his space. But then he translates that also to a stage where he continues to speak about those things, right? So that establishes him even further as an authority in that field. And that is where I want you to take something away right now. Since you spoke about Vusi, some of you are really good at certain things, really, really good, but you don't talk about it. And because of that, we don't know you. We don't even know you do those things. Yes, because a public speaker usually has a message. And usually if your message is about you and what you do, it further establishes you as an authority in that field, okay? So I love that you used Vusi as an example. Vusi talks a lot about entrepreneurship. Oh yeah, he does a lot about that. He talks about leadership. He talks about a couple of things, yes. And he speaks with conviction. I see that. Yes. So somebody talks about Oprah Winfrey, Barack Obama, definitely. Somebody says, let me see if I can read that. Somebody said one of the speakers lights a fire inside of him. Exactly. Oh
That's
my God,
MLK.
I love that somebody has put, good, yes, MLK. I love the fact that somebody has put Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Yes. It's one of the, I'm telling you, Yemi Osinbajo is one of the best speakers Nigeria has ever produced. You can take it to the bank. Professor Osinbajo is one speaker, as in a Nigerian that when he's, oh Lord. Anyway, let me not talk too much about him at this point. But, you know, it's very easy for us to look at foreign speakers. That's where the problem is sometimes. We look outside, but we have those within us also that speak really well. And that's Professor Osinbajo. And I think I would challenge you to watch, I think there was this speech he gave at the Ake Festival, maybe 2018 or 2019, thereabouts. Ake Festival, look for it. A 9 or 10 minute speech. Oh my God, it's amazing. Storytelling at its best, yabbing himself, everything. I mean, amazing, amazing, amazing. Ibukwa Awosika, oh my God, that's an amazing speaker. So we have quite a number of them. And now we're able to even relate to these people, saying that these are our best speakers. So thank you for that. Thank you for putting that out here. So quickly, let me give you an IPI formula. So I teach public speaking. I teach public speaking, and I even still have another public speaking training. And I'm so excited about that because every time we have this 3 days public speaking trainings, I'm just so excited about it. It's just another time for us to empower someone else. So I've created this IPI formula for delivering a memorable speech. And for every speech you give, think about it. Run it through this test. It's like the 4-way test of Rotary, right? Is it fair to all concerned? Does it bring goodwill and better friendship and all of that? Now, the IPI formula for delivering a memorable speech, ask yourself, does this speech inspire? Will this, my speech that I want to present, will it inspire? Will it persuade someone? Will it inform? Will it entertain? Inspiration. So somebody had said in the box earlier that a class can inspire someone. So you have to ask yourself, what part of my speech inspires someone? Would I put in a story or my own personal experience to inspire someone? What's the theme of my speech? What do I even want to talk about? And you know that you could even have a very professional speech that would inspire someone, even when it's technical. Yes, because in the technical bit of it, you can include a story or something that would help people in the room understand or inspire them to become a better version of themselves. So your speech should inspire. Your speech should persuade. So you're shifting mindsets. You're shifting some mindset in that room. You are calling people to action so that when they are done, they're like, wow, if it's even one thing they're taking away that they're going to do, they're taking that. So there's a part of persuasion. A public speaker persuades. And all the people you've mentioned that you put their names there, they're also people that persuade us to do things, either to become better at what we're doing, either to take a step on something, but there's persuasion in public speaking. Then third is inform. What information am I bringing to this audience that they probably might not have known before, or I can remind them, or the kind of things that they barely even think about in their regular life, but these things are important to them. So information, and information empowers people, right? So information is very key, and the last is entertain. And I'm not saying you should be a comedian. An entertaining speech means that you're able to hold your audience from the beginning to the end of your speech. After you're able to use humor in a way that it's not that you're laughing all through, no. But some examples can just make people giggle or laugh, or just, or keep them, with you, keep them glued to you till the end. There's some speeches that, like the people listening to you even just want to see where this speech is headed. They want to see where you're heading to. So they're listening with rapt attention. But when you lose your audience along the way, you are not an entertaining speaker. That's what it means. So entertaining speaker is someone that can hold the audience from the beginning to the end, create anticipation, let your audience sit with you and say, well, okay, let's see where this is going to. So usually when you're also speaking, you're talking about logical flow, being able to build your material in a way that you're taking your audience on a journey. So they're going with you step by step to get to the end. And then, of course, you're not boring. That's what it means. So an entertaining speaker is not a boring speaker. So don't forget the IPI formula: inspire, persuade, inform, and entertain. I arranged it as IPI because I feel it's easier to remember IPI. But normally I would have said inspire, inform, entertain, and persuade, okay? But it depends on how you can remember it. You can decide to even call it PI high. But this is how I arrange formulas. And I always say that when you give a public speech and you want to use formulas or something that can make people remember, you can use acronyms like IPI, okay? So just do it that way. So written communication is pretty much the same, okay? It's pretty much the same tip. The IPI: inspire, persuade, inform, and entertain. Your communications when you are writing as well, you want people that they pick up your material and they read it to the end. Like, wow, I love this reading. Even if it's a page, if it's 2 pages. So that there's some of us, we love to write. What do we write? How can we make our writing even more inspirational, to inspire the people reading from us, to persuade them to do something bigger than them, to inform them about something they probably do not know? So you're giving a presentation. You can go do some research and bring out some facts, well-researched facts that could make your audience say, wow, I never saw it that way. I never knew that this could happen. Wow. So you mean out of every 10 children, this number has been abused? You know, facts, research, staggering statistics. Do you know that this? Do you know information? Or even saying, oh, this is the way we've been doing this from time. But right now I'm showing you something, a new and better way. That's information. Okay? So you want to be someone that whether you write or you speak, it's memorable. It's memorable. Someone reads what you've written and just says, you know what, I think I need to come back to this. So I had an article I wrote recently, Export for Survival. And it's very interesting because it was published in the USGA newsletter, I think. And somebody reached out to me and said, please, we'd like to have the article there. Somebody read it. It was in Premium Times. So I wrote it in Premium Times. And it's a soft sell magazine. So it was online. Like 2 or 3 people read the magazine and got back to me and said, wow, I really love what you wrote about this. I love your flow. I love that you didn't just scratch the surface. You also gave solutions to what you felt were the issues. And I said, well, that's some good feedback. So why should we export? I put that. What's the current situation? What could improve? How do we do it? So the guy was like, it was so complete. And he really loved it. And so he called me and he was even discussing business with me anyway. So he said, oh, my writing wants to bring me some cool consultancy. But the truth is, for written communication, it's the same thing. That it's the same. It must inspire, it must persuade, it must inform, it must entertain, it must be interesting. And someone reads it from the beginning to the end. But let me say this, that many people prefer writing to public speaking because there's also the fear that comes with public speaking, start standing before an audience. And the reason why we have the fear is because we are thinking, what will people think about what I'm about to say? What if I didn't say it well? What if somebody in the audience doesn't even like my voice? We think about all the what ifs, but it's time to face your fear. Know this very well, that the people in the audience where you speak, they want you to succeed. Nobody comes to watch a speech or listen to a speech with the mindset that I'm coming to listen to this person fail. I've never seen it, truly. If I go to listen to any speech or attend an event, I wouldn't leave my house saying, oh, I'm going to watch Oprah Winfrey fail today in his speech. I don't understand. I tune into the station or I listen to the speech with the mindset that there's something I'm coming to listen to and there's something I want to gain from this person. So think of it that way, that whenever you're on the stage, you are the star of the moment and it's about your message. Of course, there's a part of preparation. And preparation is very key. Every time you need to go on that stage, prepare. Only a prepared speaker deserves to be confident. I think it's Dale Carnegie that said it. Only a prepared speaker deserves to be confident. So, and let me also shock you that most introverts fall into this category that I'd rather be writing my thing. I don't want to go and study. But trust me, great writers are great speakers because they have depth. Therefore, introverts make great speakers. I'm actually writing a book already on public speaking, and I dedicated a whole chapter to introverts. People that say, I'm an introvert, that's the reason I cannot speak. No, I want to bust the bubble right now. The introvert makes the greatest speakers I've seen. And of course, because they have depth, they think deep. And so where they bring their content from is from a place of depth, and people learn a lot from people like that. So note it. Even if you're in the room today, say, I'm an introvert, I'm not, forget that thing. Nobody's even changing you. You can't change who you are. And being an introvert is not a disease. It's not even, it's also a personality, and a personality that has its own strengths. But and many extroverts just like to be loud, though. I'm telling you, they're not even as deep as you introverts. So wear it today with confidence and begin your public speaking journey. And you can take it to the bank that I'm the one that told you that introverts make great speakers because of their nature. So get out of the shell. Very, very important. Now, these days, technology has even enabled us to communicate, whether written or spoken. You go online now, videos are everywhere, everywhere. And if you're not careful, we are stuck with a Proco doctor talking to us about something new. Oh my God, that guy has a huge following because he's been able to be someone that advocates for health issues and also talks about health, anything health related. Even the most mundane health related thing, a doctor will give it to you in a very entertaining and powerful way. And then he has added acting, he's added so many things to it. That has now made him an entertaining speaker. He's now an entertainer, an health entertainer. And you know that because of this, he has gotten so many deals. And he does a lot for, even in the health sector, trying to health communication. He's now known as a health communicator. So what are you communicating? What is your area of strength? Think about it again. We listen to a lot of videos today. People are online and yeah, they're making a kill though. But at the same time, we know the people we tune into when we need to get some certain information. We tune to them to listen. Very important. So what has enabled this? Technology. So the AI tools that are being used right now, that even if you want to write, it can enable you. I think I had to use one of these tools recently. Of course, I had the titles of the things I wanted to write, and then I fleshed them a bit, and I just ran them through this AI tool, and it was able to help me to give me more ideas, and also help me to give the right kind of structure, and that helped. It made me more efficient too. It has made me more efficient, honestly. It saved me time. So trust me, the AI tools that you can use, ChatGPT is one of them. But let me also tell you that you can do so much. First, you must have your own concept. You must have your own idea. You must because whatever you give it is like garbage in, garbage out. That's what our tech is. Whatever you feed it to, what it gives you. So you also need to be clear about what you really want so that you can be aided actually in getting that done. So AI tools are there. Social media platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, IGFP are places you could talk and speak about the things that you do. And before you know it, people begin to say, oh, there's this guy that talks about this thing online. Oh, there's this person that does this online. There's this guy that is always talking about education, early childhood. So. There's this person that is always talking about public speaking. There's this person that is always talking about being an African and being proud about it. It depends on what you want to talk about. You can be an advocate for something really important that the society can begin to read. You can even be an advocate of the new Nigeria, and all you talk about is the new Nigeria being possible. But you can be a voice. What I'm saying is you can be a voice, either with your pen or with your voice. You can be a voice because even whatever you write, whenever you write with your pen and you post out there, it becomes a voice. The moment people begin to read it, they can hear it as a voice in their head. It translates to a voice. You can begin to write blogs, and there are also some blogs you can subscribe to that you probably don't have to pay. Free blog hosts And you can decide to create your own website and have a blog and post materials around. That are the things you love to talk about. And then you just post them on your links. And before you know it, someone is looking out for you every Monday to read what you have to post. You can decide to say, I'm posting every Wednesday, every Thursday. So it's your Thursday tonic. You can create something really cool around these things. Newsletters, soft sell newspapers. I just told you that I've started writing in Premium Times. And right now, because I have a website, I'm also posting some of those articles now onto my blogs. And I can share my link from my website to say people should read up these articles. This year for me is the year of really, really putting my voice in some places. And I'm beginning to achieve them anyway. Because last year I told myself I was going to start writing the papers. And I actually got the invitation to start writing the Premium Times. But I didn't take it very seriously. So this year, the lady called me again and said, Titi, I think you should. We're waiting for you. And I said, yeah, I'm going to take on this. Now, the thing I'm going to tell you is this. I felt I didn't have time to be writing, truly. And really, last year was a very busy, stressful year for me because I had to do quite a number of things. But the fact is, this year, I picked it up and I realized that I actually could write if I put my mind there. I was able to send 10 articles within 2 weeks. And I told them, these are 10 articles, and you can spread them out if it's every week. That will go for at least 2.5 months. And I said to myself, so what has delayed me till date? I felt I was too busy for this thing. But the moment I started doing this, I found out that it's very easy if I put my mind to it. And when I was able to write for Premium Times, I also wrote to Toastmasters International that I wanted to write in the international newsletter. And I sent 2 articles, and one of the articles was selected. Interestingly, and I've always had the dream to actually put an article in that magazine for how many years. So because I could write in Premium, I said, okay, then I could as well just put 2 articles together and also email them to Toastmasters and look at the rules of writing in there. So I'm telling you that technology has also been able to enable a lot of these things. Before, there was a whole lot of brick and mortar, but now technology has helped. Now, can communications or public speaking be a career? Yes, it can. Many people, individuals that you know, some of the people you mentioned today, earn a living as professional speakers, trainers, or motivational speakers, among other roles. Okay, so I'm a Toastmaster. I must even mention that. And I train for Toastmasters as well. There is a particular module that says from speaker to trainer, There's a module like that, a seminar. Because after a while, the Toastmasters realized that beyond the speaking, many people that have gone through the Toastmasters program would also want to maybe be trainers. So even as a public speaker, you will be a good trainer, trust me. I can make money from it. Yes. So we're talking about a career. And sometimes you could just speak 1 hour, present a paper or something, and you're smiling to the bank. Oh, yes. Yes. I'm saying this because I am in that space. With every other thing I do, speaking is one of the things I do that brings me income as well. So the weeks that I speak, I know that I'm earning from it. And it's so interesting. I moderated a national event last year at the Villa on invitation of the SA to the VP. That saw me moderating an event somewhere at NEPC. And he said, oh, I would like this woman to be the one moderating this event. The VP was in attendance. And one thing he told me that day was like, because this is my space, export, and this is all about export itself, I think you're the best person to come and moderate this. So I was MC and I moderated a panel as well. Just so you know that speaking can take you to places. I'm using my own example. I probably won't use somebody else's because I am also in this space already. Okay? So take that. And some of you, your weekends, you spend it maybe just watching TV or just hosting friends. What if some of those weekends you do MC somewhere and you get paid? Think about it. So there are diverse careers, even in your job, in the job you're doing right now. Who knows? There may be maybe there's some higher pay. Who knows for you if you speak somewhere represent the organization? I wouldn't say. But even in the hours that you have for yourself, you could be a speaker truly. So that's the career path. There are several career paths, trainers and educators. That's a career path, people that educate or train. It's a career path in public speaking. Motivational and keynote speakers. Oh, yes. That's a career, motivational speaking. Some of you are into young people, like youth development. And let me say this, in our religious circles, in church, for example, you could even build that skill there, where you address young people, the youth church, or teenagers. My dear, that's a good breeding ground, a very good breeding ground for this skill. At least in church, you don't have, that's a place where it's voluntary. And by the time you begin to show that you can do these things, you're the ones that they'll be calling. You're the one. And I don't know about the mosque, but even in the mosque, I'm sure you can speak there if you have content. And you can also create space for yourself. Presenters and MCs, that's a career, presenters. So I see regular 9 to 5 people that present a particular slot or something on TV or radio, yes, of something that they love to talk about. MCs, I've just talked about MCs. Tour guides and interpreters. Do you know that tour guides? I don't know if we have quite a bit of that in this part of the world, but tour guides and interpreters, man, they make a kill as well. They take, and it's something we can create. There are tourist services in Abuja, I know so. Yes, tour guides and interpreters, whether here or abroad and all that, they are public speakers as well. They're speakers. They have been able to say, you know what, where I want to speak is to get foreigners to see parts of my country, and I want to be part of that exercise. Broadcasters and journalists, mediators and negotiators. Some of us can be mediators eventually. Negotiations can be done between two parties. And if you're good with speaking, with communications, generally communications, because when we even think about communication, there's so many branches of communication. Negotiation is a major part of it. Mediation and negotiation, and you can decide to create your own niche around that. Okay, so that's it. So how do you build a public speaking career? Develop your expertise or even communications. Now I'm trying to be a bit broad about it. Develop expertise. Identify a niche or area of expertise where you can share valuable insights and knowledge. And as I'm speaking, maybe your mind is going through it like, what is it I'm good at? Do you know that quite a number of ladies, even men, have created channels about cooking, about food? Oh yeah, so let's even take our minds away from the job you do every day. You could talk about a book that you've read and you love. If you're someone that is a book reader, like you love to read books, you can be doing reviews of books. And I'm telling you, there'll be those that'll be tuning to your channel to just see what book you want to review for that. I'm just saying. Okay? It might be the kind of food you love and you love to cook it. You love to cook edikaikong. You're someone that you're a chef, even though you're a 9-to-5er, but you're a chef. You love to cook. You love to bake. There are several things that you can create your niche in. As these things are eating me, that's why I'm saying it now, so that you can just begin to think outside the box, okay? So develop your expertise. Practice and refine skills. Regularly practice public speaking to improve your delivery. Practice, they say, makes perfect. Public speaking, communications, whatever that is, you need to practice. Writing, you need to practice. Importantly, you must practice, because the more you practice, the better you get at it. And when you're practicing, you also probably have someone that is looking at these things for you, giving you feedback. What do you like about this? So recently, I was also going through my script, the book I'm writing right now with my staff. And I was even running it through my staff. And I was like, Miriam, you know what? Let's read this together today. Let me run you through the 11 chapters. And she had a couple of things to say. Oh, Auntie, I think for this one, maybe you should do this. I think she had a chapter at the beginning, your own personal story of how you got into this. You know, she gave me very good ideas. This one, yes, I love these examples. But can we also add these people to it? Can we bring in some Nigerians? These were powerful things for me. She was my staff, but her insights were powerful. So that's how you refine your skills. Network and build potential clients to build your network and find opportunities. Some of us just say they're not calling me, so let me just stay now. Nobody's calling me. Don't do that to yourself. If nobody's calling you, create the space. If there's no space, create it. Create it. In fact, public speaking requires that you create that space for yourself. There's a lady that posted on, is it Twitter or Instagram last year? And she said 2025, she's going to create opportunities for herself in speaking. She would look for events. She would ask them, do you have a speaker? If they don't have, she would say, I am available. I love the audacity. She sounded so audacious. Said yes, because that's the only way you can create opportunities to speak. Even in your office, there's an event coming up, you could ask, can I deliver in 10 minutes? Oh, can we have a topic like this in this meeting? I wouldn't mind sharing my thoughts with other staff about this. And that is value addition as well. American Corner Calabar raised hand. Yes, you want to say something?
I think they have questions.
Okay, we have questions, right? Okay, so should I finish then we can do the questions because I'm almost done.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Hold on, Calabar.
Okay, so hold on, Calabar people. All right, and I should be in Calabar this June, actually. I'm just telling you ahead. So connect with other speakers, event organizers, find your way in there somehow. Somehow. Let me quickly share a story. So last year, we had the Nigerians in Diaspora Forum at the Villa as well. And then there's a lady that came to she did interpreter for the deaf and dumb, but she did interpretation. And I noticed she was the only one throughout the 2 or 3 days. Yes, she was. So I had to ask her, Mom, are you tired, But she now told me that it was not even part of the agenda before. She saw an event coming, and she wrote the event planners. And she said, do you have someone that will be doing interpretation? They said, no. I said, I'm offering myself. I want to come and do it for you. And this girl came by herself from Lagos or so. And I asked her, so, was your flight paid? She said she negotiated something. She got accommodation. I think she did the local transportation by herself. She was so determined. She paid her way to come, transportation, but she got accommodation. And eventually she got paid. And she said, Auntie, see, these 2 days, I think 3 days, 3 days spent here, I have met people, I've made contact, I'm getting more jobs from here. That is how audacious you should be if you really mean this as a career path, okay? The next is market yourself, promote your services and expertise through online platforms, social media, and speaking engagement. Of course, this is how you market yourself and seek feedback and continue. I've mentioned that in passing, that you ask feedback from others and continuously work to improve your skills and presentation style. Let me say this as well, that every one of us, we have a presentation style. So don't think this other, I want to speak like someone. Find yours. It's very critical. Just find yours and prosper there. That's very key. How do you develop communication skills? You attend trainings, of course, workshop. You could have a role model. Some of you have put your role models there. Practice. When I say role model, listen to their videos very often, their audios very often, and see what aspects of this people speaking, where I want to put into my own style, okay? Because it's good to borrow styles. Oh, yes, it's okay. I love the way this person speaks with passion. Then I also want to speak with passion. I love the fact that this person always puts in a proverb or shares a story. So I want to include storytelling in the way I speak. So this is very important. You have someone that writes and you love the way the person writes. Ask yourself, what do I like about how this person writes? And work around that. Borrow that as well and create your own niche. Very key. So your interest and skills mapping, I just said here, what do I enjoy doing sustainably? Something I don't get tired of. I don't want to get tired of it. What do I enjoy doing sustainably that I won't get tired doing so? What do I enjoy? And again, I said, well, instead of do, I said, what will I? So what will I will be, in case you have not even thought about it. So what will I enjoy speaking about? That's a question. You're thinking about it now. What will I enjoy speaking about? What will I enjoy writing about? What will I wake up to every day excited? Like I wake up today, like, oh yeah, today's another day to write this article. Another day to talk about what I love to do. So what will I wake up to every day excited about it? That's a very good question, okay? So this is how you're going to map your interest to the skills you already have. Or even if you don't have so much skills in those things, you now begin to build skills in that area of interest. And you get better as you start practicing, and putting yourself out there. Very, very important. So this is the time for Q&A. I think my light just went off. Do we have, so I'm done with the part of teaching. This is the time of questions. And I hope this has been quite enlightening. I really want to believe this has been quite enlightening for you. So this is a time, Calabar, I guess this is a good time. All right, let's hear you now. Yes.
Calabar, you can
Okay, let's
unmute
go.
and ask your question.
Okay, while we're waiting for Calabar, okay, yes, because I was reading the chat. I wanted to answer that. Can I quickly look at the chat? Let me just answer something. Somebody says, I love Steve Harvey's authenticity, resilience, and humor, and his personal journey from being homeless to an amazing person. So I just want to write on that to say that your personal stories, it's what even makes you authentic through and through your personal stories. The greatest speakers of all time have been able to share their personal stories of hope, of resilience, of how they beat the odds, despite the odds, you know. So this has been, your personal stories could be a starting point. Okay, very key. Then somebody says, do you memorize your speech? No, you don't, but you practice it. If you develop your speech yourself, you should actually know what you want to talk about. But it's important you develop your speech. Know how you want to do your transitions. How do your ideas build up to the end? If maybe at the beginning you want to have some tips that will help you when you're speaking, it's fine. You may want to put it on a PowerPoint slide that I'm doing mine, so that each time I put it on the screen and I'm speaking, I remember what I was talking about. That's fine. But be in the message. Let the message be in you. Hello, be in the message. Let the message be in you, because it might happen that you have a technical itch where you're going to speak and the PowerPoint slide is not going to work, or internet goes off. How do you do that? How do you not say, oh, I'm so sorry, since I cannot present my PowerPoint, I'm unable to speak here today. No way. You will still speak. And you will speak because you know your message. You're the one that prepared the message. And that's why preparation is important. When you prepare your speech, then you know what you want to talk about, even when you don't have the tech gadgets. Please note that. I have that chapter in the book I'm even writing now about technical issues and difficulties. How do you manage that? That's very key. That's very, very key. Especially with professionals like you, okay? Then, yes, somebody said, I'm passionate about many things across different fields. How do I define my niche? Yeah, it's okay to have a time where you just sit down. It's a reflective period for you. Write down the things that you love to talk about, and then prioritize them out of this lot. Rate them, grade them. Which one was my top 3 out of this 10 that I've written down? And out of the top 3, which one do I know, if you wake me up today, I can begin to run with it? And it's not a bad idea if you even pick your top 3, and those are the top 3 things you want to talk about. So I would always say that, just like you go through business ideation, write all the things you love to talk about, and then do an X-ray of each one and get to your top 3. And out of your top 3, you can pick 1 or 2. And that's where you start from. Okay, I hope I've been able to answer that question. So Uyo, please, your hand is up. Can I have your question?
Let's go with Calabar first. Calabar,
Yes.
unmute and ask your question.
Good morning, everybody. You talked about the diverse character. You talked about the diverse career path. So my question is, how can networking help when exploring different career options?
How can what?
How can networking help when exploring different career options?
Oh, okay. How can networking help? Oh, dear. Networking is very key, first of all. Now, the places you go to, there are things you're going to see, people speaking. There's some new ideas that come to you when you network. Very important. I've seen careers. Let's look at children, for example. Let's even use children and young people as good examples. Do you know that some children decide to study some courses because they see a family member that is in that line? Like one of my friends said, she wanted to be a public servant because those days they had one uncle that was in government. And anytime he came to the house, he had a suit and a tie. I always spoke good English. So she told herself, I want to work in government. I must be a public sector person. I want to work as a career civil servant. Because of one uncle that she saw. And she retired as a permanent sec anyway. But that was what inspired her. So when you network, there's so many inspirational moments when you network with people. And you know, when you network, you go for events, you go to events, you go for activities and all of that. It may be in that event that something hits you and you're like, wow, okay. Oh, so I could actually do this because I see somebody doing it. And that's how networking can help you, okay? Even just speaking to someone you've never met, or someone you probably just got to admire because you met them at a particular gathering. And just by speaking and building that relationship, some new things start coming to you. Or even some of the things you already know, in fact, and this person just helps you to put it in perspective or help you to shape your thoughts about those things. And that's how networking works. There are several things I've picked up in just sitting at events, truly. And I tell you that it's important you expand your network as well. You don't have to go to the places that only what you like is what they do there. Once in a while, just attend. They're saying they're doing a housing fair. Just go and attend a housing fair and just generally meet new people. Or, well, they're doing something, one business thing over a weekend. Let me just go there and sit down. Attend a Toastmasters meeting. That one is a very nice place to even meet people as well. Okay, so networking is key. It just helps you to also shape your thoughts because you see other people doing it. Or conversations around those things going on in your mind are happening. And then it helps you to just shape them until you get to a point where you say, okay, I think this is where I want to be. And in the case of networking as well, you can even meet someone that could mentor you, okay? That could mentor you through that path that you are thinking about. You can talk to them about it and they can help you shape that path. So that's very important. Networking has a lot of benefits, really. And it's infinitesimal, it's endless. It just depends on what side of it you are relating with. But I tell you that opportunities show up in networking scenarios. It just shows up. When you even least expect, it comes up, okay? All right? So,
Uyo?
I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Uyo, please
All right.
unmute and ask your question.
Yeah.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
That's good.
My name is Fortune. My question is, please, how can you advise people that they can speak so well in their social media platform, but when they ask you a real life scenario, they can't do it. So please, what's your advice? How can they solve this problem?
Okay, so this is...
We have a second question.
Okay, second question.
Yeah, good morning, man. Well, thank you for this program that you've been brought forward. I want to understand for somebody that does stammer and he has a passion for public speaking. How can he go about it? And how
Okay. Oh, very good question. Very good question. Is there a little kid trying to talk to me?
Hold on, Titi. Let's take Oshogbo so you can just answer all the
Oshogbo.
questions together.
Okay, good.
Oshogbo, please unmute and ask your question.
Yes, good morning, ma.
Good morning.
So, ma, what about someone who loves to talk, like to encourage people, motivate them, and he or she is interested in another career? What can that person do? How can he or she go about it? Thank you.
Just trying to be clear, if you want to pursue a career, right, in public speaking or what? The last person that spoke, I just want some clarity on your question.
Oshogbo.
Okay.
Oshogbo.
Yes, public love to motivate and encourage people, but you are interested in another career. Like, how do you go about it?
to blend it together.
Exactly.
Okay, so you want to build a career in motivating people, right? Like a motivational speaker. Is that what you mean?
She has a flair for motivational speaking, but she has an entirely different career.
Okay, so how can she shift,
blend the
like
two
a career
together?
shift? Okay. Blending. That's what I really wanted. Okay, so good. All right, let me answer these three. If there's any more, then I'll take it again. Okay. So someone says there are those that speak so well on social media, but they cannot speak in public. Yes, that happens a lot. And we call them keyboard warriors. And that's why you see someone just putting all sort of rubbish, talking to people anyhow, because it's so easy to type, right? Very easy. Shebi, you don't know me, and nobody's looking at my face. But what I'm preaching here is be both a keyboard warrior and someone that when we call you to come and speak, you are still as authentic as what you're typing on social media. Okay? So it's something we have to develop. Like I said, it's still a basic principle. Beyond writing, because many people are very comfortable writing, like I said in my presentation, the key part still remains the challenging part. You need to now be deliberate about speaking. You just have to be deliberate. You have to find opportunities to speak. It's not very good when you are someone that, yes, you are really good on the keyboard, you can type, social media is so excellent. One day somebody will call you and say, please, can you come and speak at my event? It's going to happen. It's a case of you can run, but you can't hide. I'm telling you that invitations come to a lot of people that actually write on social media. Because someone wants to have an event, youth something, you say, oh, there's this kind that talks, that really shares a lot of information around youth. Can we call him to come and speak? At that point, will you now say, oh, sorry, I can only chat, or I can only type on social media. That speaking part, no, it's not. No. It will be a disgrace at that point. Because you've already also built a brand that you are good in this thing, and that's what you write all the time, right? It's just a matter of time that someone will invite you to come and speak about it. So please, if you're saying typing is or writing on social media is your, no. Move from that to being able to speak about the things you write about. Very key. Yes, first is you have to face your fear of public speaking. You have to face it. What makes you afraid of public speaking? Get to the root of it. And then begin to deal with it one by one. Do you know that a number of people that are afraid of public speaking, the moment they step out and they are able to, even if it's to address a teenage audience or a young people audience, I'm telling you, and they do it well, that's where the courage begins to come from. So you need to find a way to put yourself out there, no matter what. Find a way. Create an opportunity for you to start speaking to audiences, no matter how little, even in your office. Start it. That's how you begin to unlearn the fear of public speaking. And that's my answer to that one. Someone says, how can a stammerer? Oh, yes. So as a stammerer, I would recommend Toastmasters International to you, truly. And there's a reason why I'm saying so. So I have a colleague, she's a distinguished Toastmaster right now. She was a chronic stammerer. The first time she came to our club meeting, she wasn't able to say how many words. She was to do a 2-minute speech. She was there for 10 minutes trying to say just a few things. It was really bad. But that day, everybody, we're all clapping and we said, we're going to wait for her to get to the end of her speech. What if I told you that this same lady was the public speaking champion of West and Central Africa, like 5 years ago? As in, she was able to represent Nigeria in a speech contest. She went to the district and still won. And she was in Chicago in 2018 representing the district. And district is West and Central Africa. Who would have known that she was a stammerer many years ago? And how has that helped her? And today when she's speaking, you may not know. A few times maybe, when she's speaking naturally. But when she begins to speak, like she has a prepared speech that she wants to give, she speaks so well. And this is not a fictitious someone, no. It's someone that I know very well. And how that has helped her is because she now joined a public speaking group where every time she has to give a speech, every time she has to rehearse, every time she has to, then she learned the power of pauses. She learned all the intricacies of speaking that could help her think first before she speaks. And she started mastering it. And today, like I told you, I was in Chicago for international convention. This lady was the one representing District 94. Who would have known? And so I'm just saying that for a stammerer, you have to continue to practice to speak. Many stammerers don't want to speak because they feel people will make fun of them, and and that's it. But truly, the more you practice, the more you learn to think before you speak, the more you learn the power of pausing, the more you get over it. I'm telling you this. It has worked for someone I know, and it can work for you. All right? Then how to motivate, inspire people. So this person, you love motivational speaking, and you're already in another career. I tell you that. I keep saying, okay, so this is how I define career too sometimes. I feel that most of us have our primary career. That's our 9 to 5. And we have a secondary career. And that secondary career is us putting ourselves, who we are out there. So if you're a motivational speaker, that's who you are. Unlike the career where you're paid 9 to 5 to make sure that the American Spaces is running, meeting with customers and all that, right? But the second career, which is you now, you as a career, I love to motivate and I love to speak. So how can you combine it? Yes, you can. You could speak even while you're working in your office. Yes, there may be events where you say, you know what, I want to speak at that event. But more importantly, you can create a niche for yourself. I see people, okay, so I have a friend that's a teacher, but then she's a cook, she's a chef, and she does her cooking over the weekend. So she gets paid for her cooking. She caters for events over the weekend. She doesn't have to cook during the working hours. She does her work, but during weekends, it's for cooking. And I have clients that cook, I cook for, and they pay. That's somebody. I have those that, yes, they have their regular 9 to 5, but on weekends, you see them, they MC at an event, they speak at events, they speak at youth programs, they motivate young people, they speak at women-led conferences. Yes, you can combine them. You can combine them. Yes, you can. You have to find a way around it. I know there will be there's sometimes even that you have that is your own time. How do you make use of it? That's where you can have some of these things and you can begin to build them there. I've seen those that motivational speaking is what even got them the main gig that they do in their life. And some eventually just end up even resigning to become full-time motivational speakers. But of course, you have to get to that point where you know that you have earned that space. Like I said, I really want to go fully into motivational speaking because I've built my brand around it. Well, at this point, the time that you have that is yours, you can plug it in. This motivational speaking, you can plug it in. Okay. There are days you're on your leave. There are days you take leave from work. You can decide to say, okay, on my leave, I'm going to explore this. And I have quite a number of colleagues that do that. They plan some certain things around their leave period, which is for them, this is my me time to focus on me and build some of the skills. My leave period, some people use that, doing what they love to do. So it's not work as it were, something they enjoy doing and it works for them, okay? I hope I've been able to add to that. Then, yes.
Thank you. We have Oka.
Okay.
Oka, can you unmute and ask your question?
Okay. Good day. My question is, I can speak English and I can also speak well in my native language. But when I am addressing people in my native language, I feel very. But once it comes to English, it's as if the slate is wiped clean. I can't even, like, the confidence vanishes, like a phobia. So how can I overcome this problem?
Wow. Well, you may not be able to. Well, this is just an introduction to some things, but I feel that many people are comfortable in their native language. That's a fact. It's very difficult to speak that. One thing you have to do also is practice. Practice is really where this whole thing lies. Practice. And then when you're practicing your vocabulary, you need to develop your vocabulary. Very important. You need to read books. See, as a public speaker, there are certain things you need to do. It's what you must. You must listen to public speakers. You must listen to audios. You must watch people that speak. You might even be at a conference. You must attend events where you hear people speak. It's very important. It helps you to build your vocabulary. It helps you to develop your diction too, if possible. Elocution is very important, of course, in public speaking. But let me tell you, whether you're speaking your native language or even in English, the same principles will apply to a great public speaker. I was at an event in Ibadan many years ago in Akinyele local government. And I noticed this woman, she was speaking in Yoruba, but she was such a great speaker, such a great speaker. Everything that I talked about in IPI was present in her speech. And that day, I went back thinking, wow, it's not even in English that you speak, that a great public speaker, okay? But if you must address an English audience, an audience that it's English that you want to speak to them, then ensure that you also you have a good grasp of the English language. It's just what it is, okay? It is what it is. Develop that through reading, learn new words, watch. In fact, you can be watching movies too, very good movies. Movies help a lot. There's some really good movies that you can learn good English from them. Yes, there are good movies that will help you in your public speaking journey, helps you to even build confidence. I think there's one movie, The Debaters, Akila and the Bee. There are so many good movies, actually. It's not all movies that has to be action. Try to watch some movies that you will learn communication in a whole new way. So for you, I think you need to get used to things like that. And they're at your reach. They're within your reach. They're within your reach, okay? once in a while, tune into some of the speakers we have put here. Listen to a few things they've said. If there are new words, every day tell yourself how to learn a new word. Write it down. Oh, today there's a word like this. And don't be, what do they call that? Don't be afraid to ask. So there was a particular, that must be 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I was addressing, they were teenagers. And the lady, one of the girls used a word I do not understand what she meant. It meant truly. But she was asking me a question, and she used that word in the question. But of course, I was there as a guest and as the expert, as they were called me. And I felt, well, I have to ask her, sorry, what's the meaning of that word? I had to ask her. But it's possible that I would just say, for me, I would not be asking what's the meaning of what's English. Okay. Then I had to ask her, I said, sorry, what does that mean? Then when she said so, I said, oh, okay, that's it, okay. And I was able to answer her question. So even no matter how far you've come, we're still learning every day. There are words that even me, I'm still learning every day. There's so many common mistakes in English. You have to start on learning these things. So it's practice, please, practice, 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 practice. And when you practice, find an opportunity to go out there and use it. I always encourage doing video recordings of yourself. So, sir, for example, yes, I'm not so good at this English thing. Okay, give yourself a topic. Write a script about it. Just write a script first. Even write first. Writing first may be very helpful because some of us may not just be able to just jump right there and begin to speak. Yes, and I agree to it completely. Even as a Toastmaster, I tell club members that any speech you give, make sure you have a written version of it. There's a reason why I always say so. So if it's the writing that will help you first, write it. Write the script. If it's a 2-page script, if it's a 3-page script, write it. Then try and practice it too. Practice. So there's a part of practicing on your own. Practicing in front of a mirror. Practicing using video on your laptop. Now you have content, right? Practice. Practice, that's it. Practice. Get a role model. Practice. Over time, you'll get a grasp of it. I'm telling you the fact. As long as you set your mind to do so, you're going to get there. Okay? I hope I've been able to answer
Thank you very much. Yeah, you have. Thank you very much. We still have like about 3 hands raised. So and we've overshot our time. I'll just like Window on America, Zaria, the latest on the block, to ask their question. Then Georgina Eritefa, I can see her hands up too. We just take the questions. Then there's one on the chat box, that how best can one handle an impromptu speech?
Yes.
Okay. Then I think there's another one that I was talking about the challenge. That what's the challenge that?
Yes, I saw that. Okay,
Yes.
let me quickly answer that because my mind was even on that to answer. Okay, so what's the most unexpected challenge you have faced about public speaking and how do you overcome it? Maybe I could talk about maybe a distracting audience member or an audience member that's challenging what you have. An audience member can be your worst nightmare, I'm telling you, public speaking. Some might punch holes in what you're saying and they'll tell you they don't agree to what you just said. So even in public speaking, we always say that expect objections, especially when you're talking about something that's sensitive. Expect objections and know how to answer those things. Okay? In some cases, an audience member may even ask a question or just want to stop in the middle of it to ask a question that is not even related or just say something that's even not related to what you're saying. You must figure out how to handle those objections. I think that would have been the greatest challenge I would say I probably faced. And most times when you have someone like that that punches a hole in what you're saying, is for you to also just pause a bit, think of what this person is trying to say. It's very important. What's this person trying to tell me? And if you can figure it out, in some cases, you can even say, okay, sorry. You can ask the person to shed more light. If you're not even clear what is this person trying to say here, can you shed more light about it on this matter? In many cases, because I've learned to anticipate objection, so because I have my facts and all that, and I always tell you, when you want to present a fact or statistics, make sure you have the source. Make sure you have the source. Because I've been somewhere where somebody presented and someone in the audience raised their hand and said, that's the statistic you gave is not true. And he told the person, what you just said is not true. And I was like, my God. So, and of course, the person that presented, he didn't have a source to say, well, according to this is it. So that became a big challenge. So I feel that the biggest challenge, really, when you speak in public, might be maybe objections, but it probably wouldn't happen if it's your own personal story you're talking about or something you've experienced. So I always say that storytelling, your personal experience, you probably won't go wrong when you share, when you speak about things that is your own story, your own reality. You won't go wrong. Because somebody will say, why is that your reality? Nobody will punch a hole in your reality. It's your story. It's you. It happened to you. And you can share it. But when you are going towards presenting things that statistics and all that, make sure that your sources are right. Maybe another thing may be, yes, you plan to put a presentation up in PowerPoint, you brought visual aids, and the technology decided to fail you. Like I said earlier, prepare to speak without a presentation. Just have knowledge of what you want to do at the tip of your finger so that it doesn't also ruffle you, please. That's very important. There's also how best can one handle an impromptu speech to an audience that is not known. That is one who is present and listening to you. How best can one handle an impromptu speech that is not known? That is who and who is present. Oh, and listening to you. Okay, so impromptu speech. I don't know what you mean by impromptu speech, but impromptu speech happens every day. Every day. Even, I'm sure some of you will speak today somewhere now and it will be impromptu because you never planned it. What impromptu means is I never planned it and someone just says, can you tell us about, just address the issue, that's all. Can you tell us about your best food? Yeah, talk about your best food. It's as simple as that. Can you tell us what you think about what's going on in Rivers State? And then tell us what is going on in Rivers State. Impromptu speech is usually, it's like a request for you to say something you have not prepared for, right? And what you need to do is just address the subject. You don't need to start saying who is in the audience or who is not in the audience. When it comes to impromptu speeches, people just generally ask you, can you tell us something in a few words? That's first thing is get clarity on what you've been requested to speak about. The moment you can get clarity and understand what exactly they're trying to they want you to talk about, then you talk about it. But one thing about impromptu speeches also is that a question might be asked of you, or someone can tell you to talk about a subject you are not familiar with. And it's okay to say, well, I'm not quite familiar with the subject, so I'm unable to talk about it. It's okay. It's okay, really. It's okay. In Toastmasters, for example, we do what we call table topics, and it's impromptu speeches. And then the table topics master comes with different topics. So you pick a number, they will give you the topic to speak to. What if the number you pick, number one, says, speak about this, I have no idea about it. Can you speak to something you don't know about? No. So in cases like that, what you can do, worst case, you say, oh, I really don't have a good grasp of this. But the little that I know, my layman's understanding is that this. But I'm really sorry, I may not be able to deal with this because it's just now, just as you asked me. In fact, I was even thinking of reading more about this subject. However, if you want me to talk about something else, I'm really happy to talk about it, okay? So don't also get boxed in a corner. But when it comes to impromptu speech, my final word on is that you don't even need to know the audience as it were, but understand what you do. Understand why this person wants you to say something about something. What is it exactly they want me to talk about? And speak to that subject matter. It's an impromptu speech. It'll be 2 minutes or 5 minutes. But if you have time to go and prepare for it, then prepare for it. At that point, you can now be asking, who is my audience? At that point, you have time, right? You can go ahead and now start knowing who is your audience. I hope this has helped the matter. Okay, so the last two questions, yes. Time indeed flies, right? So Windows on America, Zaria.
Zaria, please unmute and ask them. So, Titi, can I suggest we just take all the questions because we are totally out of time. So
I see that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes.
Go ahead, Zaria.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning now.
All right.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Okay, my question is, as a student of glass and silicate technology, you mentioned something about having a primary and secondary career. So is there a special training that can be given to someone someone aspiring to be a motivational speaker in this field? Can you hear me?
She got
Yes,
your
my
yes,
question.
you can attend a training. I think training is very key. Just like I can tell you, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I got your question. And I said training is very important. Training. Just like you go to school to learn what you want to practice, for example.
Yes,
A medical doctor will go to school to learn, right? To be a doctor. The same thing. If really you now want to have a career in public speaking, go for a training. Go for training. Okay? Very important. And through training, you can begin to now understand the rudiments of public speaking, the aspects of public speaking. It's very key. Even developing your own style, it will help you. So a training of public speaking is very important. Begin to attend those kind of trainings. You might even attend one first, and then from that, trying to lean on the lessons you learned there, begin to practice and get a coach if that's the case. But yes, you can set a target for yourself as well, okay? And within the target you set for yourself, you can say, okay, so I'm starting with a training. From the training, I want to get a mentor. From the mentor, I want to create opportunities for myself to speak. I want someone that will handhold me. Each time I speak in a place, I want someone that will be giving me feedback. But yes, training is very key. Great public speakers. Yeah, we always say that in public speaking, are they born or made? Those are still questions we ask ourselves. Are public speakers born or made? Yes, nurture is very key. We can have the natural skill, yes. Nature and nurture, that's what that means. Some people are very natural. They are extroverts. There are even introverts that can communicate. But nurture is a training part, okay? So nurture it. Nurture it. Attend trainings. Do all the things you need to do. Yeah.
Zaria, do we have a second question from Zaria? Final question from Zaria, please.
All right, good day, ma'am.
Hello. Okay.
Yes. So my question is, I know that public speaking is quite important for everyone in whatever sphere you are in. But then, what if your career path, for example, does not permit you to be out in the open? How do you find a way to bring that into public speaking? How do you take your own field of expertise? How do you bring that into public speaking? Let's say if it does not require you to be out in the open.
Okay, so imagine maybe you're working the SSS, right?
For example,
Security,
yes.
yeah, and then everything about you has to be coded. And I understand that. So there's some jobs like that, whether we like it or not. So in my church, for example, there's someone that is meant to be like a leader, but she works in that kind of place. And so she doesn't come to church all the time. We understand that. because she's minimally seen. And people, how come mommy, those kind of, how come we don't see her? Well, the kind of job she does. So there's some jobs like that. And there are reasons why those kind of jobs are like that. Why you don't put yourself out in the open. There are reasons, and those are the ethics of the profession. So that has its place. And those cases, well, you might not be someone that wants to be in the open because of that. And I'm saying those that have had to even leave those kind of jobs, because at the end of the day, it becomes what they call that. It's like, I want to be here, but I have to be here kind of. In some cases, some have to just leave the job if really that's where they want to be. So you have to make a decision about it. But people like that can write. People like that can write, okay? Even if you're not in the face of everybody kind of person, you can write. Because writing is also communication. So at least one way or the other, your voice is still out there. Like I said, this is a very important scenario I've created. Such a person can write. And it's just a matter of time. You can get to a stage where, I think in career as well, you can get to a stage where you can get to a growth stage in your career that maybe once in a while you could be allowed to just speak to an audience. And let's look at it also in that kind of work. It's possible that you have maybe conferences within that scope of your work, your sector. You could be called to speak to industry colleagues. So there are places you can still speak. You can speak to industry colleagues if it's your sector. I'm sure maybe security agencies too, they have like their own seminars, perhaps they have their own conferences. And the moment that they know that you're a great speaker, you'll be one of the people they'll call in to say, you come and deliver this for us. And there are places where some of these organizations, they empower other institutions based on their own kind of work. You can be the one sent for training. Yes, because people like that still train. So, like I mentioned when I said career, you can be a trainer. You can be a trainer. And in that case, you're training maybe upcoming people in that career path or in that sector. So you're training, you're still speaking. So there are different parts around that as well. If you're not the one just talking on social media and all, you might not know. It doesn't have to be that. You could be a trainer. It could be an educator, even in that same field that you found yourself. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. That's all right. Thank you.
And with that, we come to the end of today's program. Can we put our hands together for Mrs. Titi Ojo?
Thank you,
Are
sir.
you clapping your hands? Thank you very, very much.
Yes, sir.
For
My pleasure
any
today. Thank you.
aspiring leader, it's a must for you to be able to speak in the public. And I want to encourage every one of you, no matter your career, you have to speak in the public. And the public may just be speaking to 2 or more people, just like the speaker said. Even if you work in DSS or what have you, there's always this opportunity for you to speak. And why I said leadership, because in leadership, as you grow in life, you come to positions of leadership and you're expected to make speeches, impromptu speeches. And that's when it becomes so important for you to learn. And while you are still in school, I can see many of us are still in school. This is the opportunity. And she has shared a lot of resources for us. Please, let's take advantage of these resources. Once again, thank you. We don't take this lightly. We are very, very grateful. Tomorrow, I will want to share my screen right now. Please let me do that quickly. I would like to